after rehabbing for a year and a half. He tore his Achilles in November 2022. Klay finally returned to the court earlier this year and now finds himself in another NBA Finals. So before we get to talking to Klay and Malika, he's going to be with Malika in a little bit, I want to talk to you. You tore your ACL, very similar to Klay, in an NBA Finals. How did the recovery process go when you know you're pretty much going to be out a full year?
I mean, you have doubts, so you start reaching out to other people that went through the same thing as you. And then once you have that comfort, right, like I reached out to Wes Walker, and he kind of guided me through, and he was like, hey, man, just work, just continue, do everything that the doctors tell you to do. Make sure you're in the machine, make sure you icing, you know, all hour on the hour, things to that nature, and I did that. But look, I want to go past that real quick. Okay, Richard. This is not a hot take. This is facts.
Okay. Oh, wow.
We talk about Steph Curry over the last 2 weeks about getting the opportunity to get the Finals MVP, right? Klay also has the chance to get the Finals MVP. Klay winning the Finals MVP would do everything for his legacy and prove to the people that left him off the top 75 greatest all-time list that he belongs on there. I wasn't one of them ones, but he has opportunity as well.
Well, that's a good point. And Malika is with the man, the legend himself right now.
You couldn't get Myth out.
I couldn't get Myth out now.
Richard, thank you. I am here with Klay Thompson. And Klay, you guys have done this 6 times. Steph, you, Draymond Green, but a whole lot has changed since 2019. How have you changed, not just as players, but as people since all that went down?
A few more battle scars, a few more L's we had to endure for a couple years, and I think we all mentally just appreciate just being here and the stuff that comes with it, the cameras, the interviews. It's just a real privilege, and we know what it takes to get here, so we're going to enjoy this one a little more than we did probably in years prior just because of what we had to go through to get here.
Well, and you had to go through a lot to get here. There was so much from injuries that you needed to work through, and then you get back on the court and you're with Steph Curry. I wonder if that time away, did it change the way you view playing with him?
Definitely. Not just Steph either. Draymond, Andre, Loon, all our young bucks, our coaching staff, our front office. You know, we try to work in unison. All the best organizations do in any sport, from top to bottom, have a transparency and cohesiveness that you don't see a lot of other places. So when I step back on the floor, I just appreciate all the little things that you didn't do when you were injured, like taping for a game, those butterflies in your stomach when the lights are the brightest. When you're out and you're injured, you just got to watch and you just got to be a great teammate. But there's nothing like competing and being on the biggest stage in basketball.
Well, now you're back on the biggest stage in basketball. And I think offensively, everyone sort of expected the other Splash brother to come back and not miss a beat. But defensively, how would you evaluate where you're at?
I feel great. I mean, I think using my size and my length, being able to guard multiple positions is a plus for any lineup we have out there. And although my lateral quickness might not be what it was a few years ago, I can still use my size to play great positional defense. I know that's something probably Perk knows about, playing the post all these years. RJ, not so much. I don't know. He was kind of like a matador on defense. But other than that, I mean, I'm just happy to be competing, and you know, I take pride on both sides of the ball and just having fun. You know. Sorry, RJ, I didn't mean to go at your defensive ability, but I've been waiting for that.
We'll give him a chance to respond to that in just a little bit. But before we do, on the other side of the ball, we're talking about looking at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. What kind of a challenge do they pose to you all?
Well, Tatum has been incredible these playoffs, obviously. We've been watching him, the ball in his hands. He's an incredible scorer. Same with Brown, just the force he plays with at the rim. His jump shot's greatly improved since he's been his rookie year, and now he's a threat at all 3 levels. So they definitely present a big challenge for us. Like I said in previous series, it can't be something we do individually. We can make our best effort individually, but it's got to be the team on a string defensively. It's got to be sharp with our rotations, and we know their stars will get their numbers, but it's also about limiting their role players to propel them to, you know, series wins because of them knocking down open shots or getting extra possessions. And it's just a great challenge, and we're ready for it.
Well, I know the expectations from the outside are immense,
Yeah.
but internally, that's what matters. What are the expectations that you've set for yourself here?
Just to enjoy every night in these finals. Enjoy this interview, as painful as and awkward I am with the mic in my face, but
It's all right. We got the ball. So
okay, that's what
See?
that's what it's here for, the icebreaker. My expectation is just to be a force on both sides, shoot efficiently, play very good defense on whoever's in front of me. And we expect to win the series. We know how hard it will be. Obviously, this team is battle tested. They've been playing, even though they're very young, they've played in a ton of high pressurized situations. So we know these lights and this stage won't phase them. So it's up to us to, play with great force and have that ball moving around, zipping around, hitting the open man. And I mean, we expect to win just like we did in the previous years, but it's basketball. This is what we've all been programmed to do since we were kids.
Absolutely. But for you, is that the bar?
Yeah.
Is winning what determines a successful season this year, winning it all?
Yes, I think so. I mean, we can obviously draw back on our experiences and what the losses teach us, but, a lot of us don't look back on 2019 and 2016 with great reverence. We kind of look back on it with a little more pain in our eyes and a little heartache, because we know how hard it is to lose a Game 7 in the NBA Finals or a Game 6. So we want to obviously win the last game of the year, and then we can, that does mark a great season, obviously. But if we lose, it was still a good season, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't even all the time away from the finals. That's still the bar for you all.
It's still that. Larry O'Brien.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mentioned it. I promised Richard. He's been listening into the entire thing. Do you have a question for Klay, Richard?
Well, as long as Klay can hear me, I just
Can't hear RJ.
Okay,
What is he
good.
saying?
What's going on, Klay?
Okay.
I just want to know, over this process, has there been any player that's not in the Warrior organization that has reached out to you and given you support that maybe people might not know and you can give a little love to? And why was it me?
Is he talking?
Yeah, he's talking. I'm glad that you don't have to listen to him. I will be the
What are you talking
translator.
about?
He's asking if there is someone outside of the Warriors locker room, a player, a person who reached out to you that you could shed a little bit of light on in this process getting back to this stage.
Oh, man, that's a really good question, RJ.
Don't give him that kind of compliment.
Gosh. I would probably say, man, there's a lot of great players who reached out to me. I mean, obviously talked to KD when I did it. He told me I was going to be fine the day after. Dominique Wilkins was one. I saw him before we played the Hawks this season in San Francisco, and just talked to him about the recovery process and what he did to lead the league in scoring the next year and be an all-star. That gave me a ton of motivation. And that was like 30 years ago. So for Dominique to seek me out and give me that inspiration, that meant a whole lot to me, because his highlights and his reel is timeless. There's still not a lot of people who can jump like that in today's NBA. So for him to go through what he did and win a EuroLeague Cup and then be an all-star again, it just gave me so much hope to just stick with the plan.
Absolutely. I'm not going to subject you to a question from Kendrick Perkins just because you can't hear them, but I will leave you with this. The boat. What party is going down? What is happening? What sail setting are we doing if you all win the finals?
Man. I'll probably just keep it win, lose, or draw. I'll just do the Bay Crossing and hopefully win, obviously, but from the harbor, which is in North Bay, to San Francisco, that's the route I always take to work. So hopefully it'll just be with more confetti and some fireworks and on a beautiful day. But I'm just excited, I'm already nervous for tomorrow.
It'll be good.
It'll be good. So I'm going to go out and, just hydrate and visualize greatness.
Make sure you get one of the little hats for Rocco to have as well.
He's a co-cap. He doesn't. Only the captain gets a sea hat. So Rocco gets a life jacket, though.
Absolutely. That's
Bulldogs can't swim.
Well, we'll work on that. Klay, thank you so much for your time.
No
I appreciate
problem.
you. Richard,
Thanks,
back to
Malika.
you.